WFHS. I'm Ray Morrow.
And I'm Kage Dobbs.
And welcome to the final episode of BKTV News for the 2018-2019 school year. We have several fun interviews this episode, starting with an entertaining segment from Austin Bostick and Blake Zahner called Teacher versus Video Games. Let's take a look.
Have you guys played games before?
I played games when I was little. Sonic the Hedgehog was my jam on Sega Genesis, but I haven't really played much since then.
Yeah, I play video games often. Yeah.
What sorts of games do you play?
Yeah, so we have a Nintendo Switch, so we play Smash and Mario Kart, and there's one other one, but I can't think of the name of it.
You guys have competed in accent. How did that turn out?
Well, it turned out really well. I let her win.
Let's tell everybody what really happened, Mr. Dykes.
I let her win. It was a good time.
He claims that he let me win. I really smoked him in front of everybody. But
do you think that would be a similar goal?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to smoke him and then trash talk him for the rest of the day, and I'm going to tell our 6th hour all about it.
Right. And that'll be fine. But, I mean, if she wins, it's because I was being generous and kind. I just don't like putting someone down.
He pretends to be a nice guy.
So, it's, yeah.
It's on Mr. Dykes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, why do you think you would win?
Because I push all the buttons that I need to push when I need to push them, and that helps me win.
Why do you think you're going?
Well, like I said, I'm a pretty modest person. I don't like winning a lot just because it makes the other person feel bad. So if I win, it would be because I forget that I'm a human and that I actually want to, conquer her. So, yeah, just, hopefully I don't win. But if I do, it's because I forgot about morals and her little confidence, Try to build her up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He is a good friend.
Uh-huh.
He's a nice guy.
Uh-huh. What game are we playing?
Like, of course, that is the racing, but not like Mario Kart. It's like racing.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
We're ready.
Are you ready?
Ready? We've been ready.
Born ready.
She's been ready.
You're probably on top.
Oh?
Yeah.
I'm on top.
Oh, sister,
Yeah.
don't you?
Hey!
What button are you? What button?
Oh, you're spinning me out already. That's cool, Dykes.
Wait, I'm on.
I can't even get back on the road.
Okay.
I actually cannot even go straight.
Right.
This is a problem.
Also,
It's so curvy. How do they expect you to not hit the walls?
Turn, it helps a little.
I'm 6 miles ahead of you.
Oh, no, there you are. Come
Oh, no, you already see me? I thought I was so far ahead of you.
Oh, but
And then
then
I
you
just
gotta-
kept hitting the walls.
here. I mean, I want you to win, but don't you dare pass me.
I don't.
Guys, there's a helicopter.
Why? What city are we in? Do you see those
Yeah, where?
skyscrapers back there?
Kelsey, I need a little background story. Where am I driving?
Where am
and
I
where
at?
am I going to?
What's the weather
I
like?
think I'm on my way to Walmart. Not sure.
Oh, I don't even know. How's
Okay.
this car still driving as many times as I've
Do you
hit
want
the
me to
wall?
wait for you? Hold on. Let me put
Oh, okay.
Then Michael, slow down.
Allison,
Are you coming? Okay, there you are.
listen. Are you coming? Rude. The problem is that I'm not Princess Peach right now. That's actually
that the
the
problem?
issue.
Yeah.
I think. Just act like Princess Peach is in the car. Be the Princess Peach. I'm gonna reverse it.
I would rather just know where I'm at. Where are we at? We need to stop and look at the background. Ah!
I think we're in Arizona.
You're in
Why?
Dubai.
Am I going-
Dubai?
Why?
Yeah.
Why am I supposed to know what
Am I
Dubai
going
looks
back
like?
to-
It
Let
says
us know.
Dubai everywhere.
Oh,
See right there,
Dubai.
Dubai. Is there a pedestrian? Hit him. 20 points. I feel like I'm gonna pass this driver's test.
Honestly, you already did, but Miss Pal didn't because she doesn't have
Just
skills.
running in.
yes, huh?
Yes.
You guys, I felt really bad for beating Mr. Dykes
That was-
last time. So I thought, well, he's my friend and
Was
I
that-
don't want to hurt his feelings.
Oh, really?
So I should let him win this because it's recorded.
Right.
And I
But
want to improve his self-esteem.
Right. Yeah, I need that.
And he really needs to win this.
But Kelsey, roll the video back to 6 minutes ago or so where you were like, I'm going to dominate.
I'm going to smoke him and then trash talk him for the rest of the day, and I'm going to tell our 6th hour all about it. Oh, gosh. I don't even...
Stop it.
I think it works if I just let off the gas.
I
I
think
keep
so.
hitting these random
Mr.
things on the
Dicus
road.
is figuring that out pretty quick.
Here, I'm
Was
just
it
gonna,
really?
just going to wait right here.
You don't have to wait.
Oh, okay, wait, she's on lap 3. I got to hurry.
Yeah.
Why is this race taking us 9 minutes and 55 seconds?
Honestly,
Because we're
I don't
so
know.
bad at it.
Mhm.
I know.
Excuse me. I'm
Oh,
going to get a drink of water while you finish.
whatever, Mr. Dicus. Whatever. Am I even close to the finish line?
Do your victory dance for the camera.
Am
Oh,
I
yes.
even rude? Rude.
Okay.
I'm
You
gonna unfollow you on Instagram now. Thanks.
Who knew Mr. Dicus and Miss Powell were so competitive? Thanks, Austin and Blake. Now we move on to Coach's Corner. Van, Max, and Ethan give us a scoop on the boys' golf team.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another Coach's Corner segment. I'm Ethan Miller here with Farmington Boys golf team, Coach Downs. Thank you for being on the show. We're going to get right into this. This is Coach Downs. So how long have you been working at Farmington?
Farmington, I've been here 24 years, and I just finished my 8th year coaching golf.
8th year. And how did you get into coaching golf at Farmington's high school?
Oh, I played golf pretty regularly, coached a lot of different sports. When I came back out here to the high school, the boys' golf job came open due to retirement of Coach Arnold the same year.
Yes, yes. So throughout, within 8 years of coaching, how do you feel about the group of athletes you have this year?
This year we had a really good year. We had a few good seniors, Dylan Wiles, Frank Eaton, Clayton Bach. We had pretty good senior leadership, especially with Dylan. Been on varsity for 4 years. I had a good group of young guys this year too, so the future's looking bright. We always hate to say goodbye to our seniors.
Yeah.
But the future looks good. We feel good about where we're going. Two sophomores were state qualifiers this year, one at Burgess and Alden Clue, so we feel good about looking forward to next year.
Who was your biggest surprise as a player out of this bunch?
I would say coming off the state tournament now, Alden Clue.
Yeah.
Alden kind of just shot some numbers around throughout the year, and then here at our postseason district, it's a little bigger stage, obviously. A lot more fans, a lot more spectators than what we typically get at a golf tournament. Very well organized. We have starters on every tee, and they're announcing names and times, and kind of like what you would see on Really a good experience for the kids. The difference is we're playing 2 days in a row. We don't do that 18 holes a lot of times during the season. 3 days actually if you count the practice.
Yeah.
So it's a little more pressure for those guys.
Big day.
They get worn out.
Yeah.
But it's a good experience. They enjoy it, and the setup of it's really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So being a teacher at Farmington High School and a golf coach, what kind of impact does that you think that has on the students and players?
Well, I hope a positive impact. Yeah. I hope that when they can come back or contact me, and I'll be glad to help them out. I feel like we build good relationships as coaches. Not always positive, but most of the time they are. And that's what I shoot for, is a positive relationship when it's all said and done with the players.
That's good. And I noticed you have a lot of young players and athletes on your team this year. What are you expecting in the years to come from them?
Well, in our top 6 this year, we actually had 2 sophomores and 2 freshmen. So if those guys will get out and work hard in the off season, we really feel like next couple of years, the future looks really bright, and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Good things to come, yeah. Thank you for being on the show.
All right, appreciate it.
Have you seen Avengers Endgame yet?
Nope.
In this next segment, Austin, Talley, and Garrett Sheets give us some insight on the movie. Spoiler alert, there is a time code in the description if you have not watched it yet.
Welcome back to Movie Review. I am Austin Talley.
And I'm Garrett Sheets.
Let's get right into the review.
So, real quick, Before we start, if this wasn't a given already, Endgame spoilers are in this segment. So if you haven't seen Endgame, don't whine, okay? Sick. So go ahead, we'll go for the synopsis. So the original Avengers are devastated after Thanos decimated half the universe. With Iron Man and Nebula stuck in space, the rest of the Avengers at headquarters, Ant-Man stuck in the quantum realm, and Captain Marvel searching for the two stuck in space, the Avengers need some serious luck and a smidge of hope to save the world. Once Captain Marvel finds Tony and Nebula in space, she has little time to rescue them since Tony's been running out of oxygen. As soon as they come back, the plan to find Thanos begins. He's located on a distant planet, area called the Garden. When they get there, restraining Thanos, Thor reacts quickly and cuts off his hand before he can do anything. And when Thanos says he uses stones to destroy the stones, he said, "I went for the head."
So 5 years later, Iron Man is living a new life with a family now. He now has a daughter named Morgan. As we can see in the movie, Thor let himself go a bit in New Asgard, and Bruce Banner became one with Hulk, turning him into Professor Hulk, and the rest of the Avengers are out acting like nothing else happened and are still saving the world. They're just finding a way to live. Luckily, Master Splinter's descendant activates the quantum controller, releasing Ant-Man into the new world. He makes his way to the headquarters, explains the quantum physics as best as he can to the Avengers that are there, and time travel all in all. And the Avengers have a smidge of hope of a way to beat Thanos once and for all.
Alright, so let's go ahead and talk money. The budget for this movie was $356 million, but the gross on opening weekend alone was $1.209 billion. And so far, it's got $2.2 billion globally. It's about to pass up Avatar soon with $2.8 billion all time, and it's already passed up Titanic, taking number 2 in most viewed.
Okay, now on to the reviews from some of the critics. It has already reached a 95% by Rotten Tomatoes, a 78% Metacritic, and a 5 out of 5 by Common Sense Media. The Russo brothers' poignant, powerful finale more than lives up to the hype. It's a thrilling conclusion and a deeply emotional exploration of lost love, duty and honor, friendship, and family. That was said by Sandy Anglo Chin from Common Sense Media.
So a couple of fun facts about this movie to finish this off. Howard the Duck actually made a cameo during the last battle with Thanos in the Avengers. And there's also multiple references to pop culture, such as Fortnite, Back to the Future, Big Lebowski, and many various other time travel movies.
Let's get on to characters. Let's start off with Captain America. Steve Rogers, well, he never got his rain check for the dance with Peggy. And as we see in the movie, as he travels back in time and he sees Peggy in the base, and that's when you can kind of tell that he really wants to go back. And in the end, we figure out that he ultimately goes back and spends the rest of his life with her, and then he grows old and he gives his shield to Falcon. We know how him and Tony were. They were always at each other since Civil War, and the fact that they kind of made up in the movie and put away their differences really makes it up. Speaking of Tony, let's get on to Iron Man. If Strange would have told him that he had to die in order to save the universe, we all know it wouldn't have happened because Tony would have always found another way. He always does that. That's just his personality. But we see that he's had a daughter and he finally lives his life with Pepper away from everybody because he doesn't want to leave. But as the movie goes on, we finally figure out that he's willing to put his life on the line and sacrifice everything in order to save everybody. Now more on to main characters. Thanos, he hasn't really changed. At first he was just living his normal life, and then here come the Avengers chopping off his head, and yeah, that happened. And Thor, he's always, he has his beard gut and all the symptoms that come along with a beard gut. So on to people like Gamora and Nebula and Rhodey. Nebula and Rocket, they're kind of just off, because when they come back, you can see that Rocket's going through his grief stage because he lost Groot, Nebula lost Gamora, and they're all together. And then Rhodey, he's off saving the world, and so is Carol. She's off doing her own thing. But Rhodey, he's in some sort of grief at the beginning of the movie, considering Tony is stuck in space with Nebula. But as we know, Carol goes back and grabs him from space, and they come back. And upon arrival, Tony rips out his arc reactor and gives it to Steve. And that was a really heartfelt moment to most people. Spider-Man, he is reunited with Tony when he comes back, and he kind of explains what happened when he was in the soul. He said he was basically in a dream and he woke up to Strange saying, "We've been here for 5 years, come on kid, we gotta go." And on to Strange. He ultimately knew what was gonna happen, considering this was one in the 14 million possibilities that they would actually survive everything. Now on to Thor. We see in the end he got his ultimate form where he was able to wield both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. And Thor in his ultimate form is actually a combination of both the Russo brothers and Chris Hemsworth coming together to change up the character in a whole. That's why it's something we've never seen before, and it's amazing. In Captain America, we see him wield Mjolnir. That's something none of us expected. And he ends up beating Thanos up pretty good, but he ultimately gets whooped by Thanos in the end, shattering his shield. And I think the person that did the most damage was Scarlet Witch. The only way he could get out of all of her control was by raining down fire on his entire army, which ultimately killed pretty much all of them, limiting to what he could do. We all know what happens to Iron Man. He ultimately gets the stones from Thanos very cleverly, I would say, considering the gauntlet that was on Thanos was part of Iron Man's tech, and he was able to transfer the stones pretty fast. And his last line before he snapped was, "I am Iron Man." And that's a callback to every time he said Iron Man, because he's never been afraid to tell people who he is. Ultimately, Iron Man was overwhelmed with the power and passes away with Rhodey, Pepper, and Peter all by his side. And on to Hawkeye, this is the first instance that we've heard T'Challa call Hawkeye by his first name, Clint. The first time they met, T'Challa just waved him off and said, "I don't care what your name is," pretty much. And speaking of T'Challa, he's back. He was snapped away along with Wakanda. And now onto the end credit scene. Though there wasn't a visual end credit scene, there was an auditory end credit scene. It was actually the sound of Iron Man from the first movie hammering the helmet in the cave when he was building the original Mark I Iron Man suit. This was actually not a Russo brothers choice. This was straight from Kevin Feige himself. This could be hinting towards something bigger, because the Russo brothers, it's not just like an end. We may see more from the Iron Man character. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll be it for today's movie review. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Austin Talley. This was Movie Review.
Next up, we have our department spotlight on the band programs at FHS. Carter Klutzmeyer and Jackson Umfleet give us some insight on what goes on in the program.
Welcome to Black Knight Spotlight. Today, the spotlight is on the band program. We sat down with Mr. Nays, the band director, and had a nice discussion about how to be in band and benefits of being in band. Take a look.
So with band, what should one know about coming into band, like a new player? What should they know, like one of the main things to know if they want to pick up band?
One of the things that they should know is that it's not as easy as it may look on videos or online. Is that, you see these awesome guitars or drummers or trumpet or saxophone players online, and they just make it look so easy, and band definitely takes a lot of time to get good at. Anybody can put a saxophone on their mouth and honk and sound like an animal in pain, but it takes a lot of time to make it sound good.
And how much time does it normally take for one to become from a beginner to even more advanced or intermediate size instrument?
So most people start off sounding like an animal in pain for the first few months, right? And then we get to that December concert and it sounds much better. By the end of their first year, most people sound good, but then it still takes many years until you sound really good. I would say by the time most kids get into high school, they have the potential to have a really good tone quality on their instrument and to play difficult rhythms and all the notes that they need to play. So I would say maybe 4 or 5 years until somebody is really good as a band musician.
So with those different instruments, are there different skill levels that it takes to be like a trumpet or a clarinet player?
Sure.
Or different levels of skill it requires?
So every instrument is the same level of difficulty. I say drums aren't just whack-a-mole, as you know, and flute isn't just toot and push fingers, right? Every instrument is the same difficulty in my eyes. But the one thing that makes each instrument different is that composers will write really difficult stuff for flute or clarinet, and then easier stuff for saxophone, and then bari sax and bassoon and bass clarinet will get the easiest parts, but bassoon is by no way an easy instrument to play. Same is true if I just say trumpet versus tuba. They're both difficult to play, but the trumpets generally get harder parts. Tubas get bump, 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 bump most of the time. And so again, every instrument's the same level of difficulty, but the parts that they get to play change in difficulty.
So as a band director, are there any challenges that with students on different instruments with different personalities, or is there any challenges that come along with that?
So having multiple instruments, although it's all the same subject of music, it's very much like if I was going to teach, let's just say math, and then in the same class period, these kids were learning geometry, these kids were learning physics, these kids are doing algebra, and the kids in the back are doing basic algebra, whatever it is. It's almost like teaching multiple levels at the same time because, and I actually made this comment just a few days ago at middle school band. F on a flute is this, F on a clarinet's this, F on a saxophone is this, F on a trumpet, F on a trombone, F on a euphonium or tuba, F on a xylophone. It's all different. So the knowledge of knowing all the different instruments and then what their intonation tendencies or how out of tune they are is definitely, there's a lot going on in your head as a band director when you're on the podium. But yeah, it's tough having lots of instruments all at the same time, which is why when we have middle school classes, we have them split up by brass, woodwind, and percussion to make that easier.
So from the transition from middle school to high school, how many different options are there for certain musicians who want to go a certain path like jazz?
Sure. So we have marching band, sit-down band, or concert band, and then we also have jazz, and different multiple levels of each of those, except for marching band. And then we also have a steel drum class for non-musicians. But yeah, we have. If you're interested and you really like jazz, we have Jazz Lab and Jazz Ensemble. Jazz Ensemble is an audition group, and they have harder music. And then of course we have some Bonkin concert band. And it is totally okay to have kids who like being in band, but they don't want to practice outside of school. That's a lot of the kids we see are just like that. They like playing, but they have time. They don't have the time because they're putting time into other things. And that's why it's nice to be able to have secondary groups like Jazz Lab or concert band, because music demands, especially the music that Jazz Ensemble and Symphonic Band play, music demands a lot of time, like we talked about earlier. So, yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for your time today.
Cool. Thanks. Thank you.
For our final segment, we head over to head chef Alec Burke's kitchen for our last episode of What's Cooking for this school year. I'm gonna cry.
Good morning, FHS. I'm Chef Ray.
And I'm Chef Bellybutton.
Welcome back to What's Cooking.
With finals coming up, everyone's gonna need a good breakfast. So this week, we're gonna be making breakfast food.
Let's go get some input from the students. My name's Ray Morrow. I'm here with What's Cooking. Alicia, what's your favorite breakfast?
Pancake.
Pancakes. All right, let's go. All right, my name's Ray Morrow. I'm here with What's Cooking. What's your favorite breakfast food?
Muffins.
I'm here with What's Cooking. Isaiah, what's your favorite breakfast?
Pop-Tarts.
I'm here with What's Cooking. What's your favorite breakfast food?
Cereal.
Cereal. All right, let's go.
So, what is your favorite breakfast food if we didn't ask you already?
Pancakes.
All right. Also, cereal before milk or after?
Before.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I have a question for you. What's your favorite breakfast food?
Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart. All right. And Abby, what's your favorite breakfast food?
Pancakes.
Pancakes. All right, let's go. And Ryder, what's your favorite breakfast food?
Pizza.
I have a question for you. What's going on? All right, what's your two's favorite breakfast food? Like,
for sure. It's easily bacon. Bacon is the goat of breakfast.
Wow, vegans hate you.
Pizza.
What? Another one?
What's your favorite breakfast food?
Pancakes.
What's your favorite breakfast food?
Fruit Loops.
All right, let's go. What's your favorite breakfast food?
Cereal.
Cereal. Okay, let's go. What's your favorite breakfast food?
Bacon.
What would you have for breakfast if you can choose anything?
Probably like eggs and bacon.
Cool. Hi. So if you could have anything for breakfast, what would it be?
Oatmeal.
What would you like for breakfast?
Coffee. Ooh, bacon. Lots more coffee. Possibly a bagel, but mostly coffee and bacon.
I'm sous chef Isaiah, and today
We're here in head chef Alec Burke's kitchen.
And we're in head chef Alec Burke's kitchen, and we're.
You gotta tell them what we're making.
Oh yeah, and we're making breakfast.
For this meal, we'll need buttermilk pancake mix, margarine, egg.
To get it started off, you're gonna need a bowl, your mix, a whisk, and water. So we're just gonna get started off by pouring in some of this. I don't know how much we need, so we're just gonna pour it in. I'd say that's good. I think that's about all of it. Then you add in 2/3 to 2 cups of water. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in, how much is this? 1 1/4 cups of water. Okay. Then you just go ahead and start whisking it. You're trying to break up the clumps there. Just get it nice and whisked. I'll see you once it's done.
Now that you see that we're falling apart from the way that we used to be, yeah. No matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are my fire, my one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way.
So I think this is probably about the right consistency. Looks about good. So the recipe calls for a little under 1/4 cup of this stuff. I'm gonna just eyeball it, see how that turns out. Go ahead and pour a little bit in there. That's pretty good. That's probably too much, yeah. Perfect. All right, and now we wait. All right, so now we're gonna try to flip it. Oh gosh, this is gonna be rough. Bam.
Yummy.
All right, so we're just gonna bring it over here to a plate. We're gonna get working on the next one.
I loved you endlessly when you weren't there for me. So now it's time to leave and make me alone. I know that I can't take no more, ain't no lie. I wanna see you out that door, baby. Bye, 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 bye. Don't wanna be a fool for you, just another player in your game for two. You may hate me, but it ain't no lie, baby. Bye, 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 bye. Don't. Okay, we don't know the song well enough at all. Alright, so depending on how many eggs you want, just put that many. And put like a bunch of butter in there. Ooh. Melt it. So after you got it about where you want it, well, it's got to be cooked at least. But so I got a little bit of toast here, and it's almost, you can almost spread it on top of toast like this.
Unfortunately, this is going to be the last episode of What's Cooking for this year. Tune in next year to see us cook even more food.
Thank you for watching What's Cooking.
Come here. No, it's too late. It's too late. We're going. What's your favorite breakfast food?
I don't know.
What's your favorite breakfast food?
Cereal. Wow, I love your green shirt you have on today. What's your favorite breakfast food, sir? Pancakes!
Welcome back to What's Cooking. Last week we made breakfast food. This week we're going to be making cereal.
And I'm Chef Belly Button.
Welcome back to What's Cooking.
With finals coming up, everybody's going to need a hearty breakfast. So this week we're making
Oh, hello, Clayton. Get out of here. All right, my name's Raymar. I'm here with What's Cooking. Clayton, what's your favorite breakfast food?
I already said Fruit Loops!
That's it for this episode of BKTV News. On behalf of the BKTV studios,
Where you're flying.
we would like to wish our students and staff a happy summer break, and thank you for staying tuned in this year. We'll see you next year. That was